Okay, so I'm Nadine Nicholson, and you are
Derek.
Derek Nicholson. We are the co-founders of Ascend Leadership Co., and it is such a pleasure and an honor, sincere pleasure to be here with you, Lisa Haggis of Realize Your Brand. And we're here, we've coached Lisa. We're here to celebrate you and to really go back down memory lane and look at your journey and just have a conversation about where you were, where you got to, and maybe there's someone out here listening who may be inspired by something that you've experienced or feel that it could be possible for them too after listening to this conversation. So thanks so much for taking the time to meet with us.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I don't know what's going to come out of this. I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's give it a whirl and have a conversation. So we have a few questions in mind, and we may, go off-roading, of course, and see what comes up. So how about we start with telling us a bit about you and your business and what it is that you do to support clients.
Okay. I am the founder of Realize Your Brand, and I'm a brand strategist. And so for many years, I would work with clients and develop these incredible brand strategies that truly represented who they are. And then I would hand that off to them and wish them luck. And maybe like 2.5 years ago, I decided it was time to level up my company into an agency so that I could continue to support clients after that strategy phase and also get into bringing the brand to life through their websites, their sales assets, their market, like their core critical marketing materials. And so as a company now, I have associate strategist, copywriters on my team, and we are building the most genuine, interesting, and heart-led brands in North America. And we do focus on service-based businesses. And yeah, we help clients build that legacy level brand that they will be remembered for.
As you were sharing that, what I was noticing in you,
What?
Your eyes were sparkling.
Oh.
As you were sharing, genuine, interesting, and heart-led. Your eyes sparkled.
Yeah, I do have that sparkle for them, for my clients.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And this is your genuine, interesting, and heart-led.
Yes.
Work.
Like 100%.
Yeah, it's coming through very clearly.
Yeah. And I also call it the brand that scares you. And this is the brand that scares me.
I get that. Yeah. So as we look back, we've had quite a journey together. Our relationship is quite unique, where you were hired by one of our coaching clients years ago. Actually, it was before we even joined forces. And I was coaching this person, and I saw what you had helped her with. I saw the work that you had done for her and the brand that you had created. And I thought to myself, wow, who is this person? I've shared this story with you many times. Who is this person who did this for my client? Because I want to know her. I want some of her. I want, to talk to her. I want to work with her. And so I knew I wanted your help before I even met you. I think before I even knew your name. Really. I just knew you were special. I knew there was something very unique about you and interesting. And, as I look back, what Derek and I did is when we were looking at joining forces, we hired you to help us create a brand of bringing the both of us together. And then when you were working with us, you realized, I think I need some help. I'd like to work with them and get some coaching from them. So we've had quite a journey where we've been together. You've been to some of our retreats. We've had quite a journey. So I give that context because it's not,
yes.
a one-day thing.
Yeah, it's 5 years.
It's been a while.
It's been a 5-year thing, I think.
Back and forth, yeah.
So tell us, so when I ask this question, I'm curious, is where were you before working with us? I guess the invitation to you will be to choose at what point you start from.
Yeah. Well, I'll start from this point.
Sure.
So because there was, a different motivation this time behind getting coached. So where I was really on a huge rise in my business. So for the first time, I was not undercharging anymore. I was charging premium pricing. I was working with fewer clients, had more spaciousness, really taking a stand for my value. I had started to bring on my team members, something I never thought would be possible. Like I hadn't even ever allowed myself to flirt with the idea because I didn't think I had what it took to handle a team underneath me that could challenge me and that I would have to like lead. But I had a team of 3 people at that time, all newly brought on. So I was really on a revenue was the highest it had ever been. Just check, like everything was going incredibly. And I think there were 2 or 3 main things that I was like, this could be better. One was my life. My life. No, but when we were in conversation, I was completely like, I was just like leaving my life behind and focusing. My business was the only thing that was bringing me like that excitement and enthusiasm. And so I was really lopsided. I was like just hiding out in the business, and just kind of letting life be whatever it was. So that was a big thing. The other was that I had this team of 3 women that I felt a lot of new stuff was coming up for me. I had never led people, like very little even in my corporate career. I was more of a project manager, not a manager of people. And so there was the conditioning that I had already worked through was coming up in a new way now that I had a team. And then the other thing too was coaching had helped me go from here to here, and I didn't know how I would go from here to here. So I figured coaching it would probably be helpful. And so those were the 3 reasons why I said, yeah, let's do this again.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. What was coming to me as you're speaking about where you were at the beginning of this phase of coaching was, a lot of women entrepreneurs are in that place of, and I can relate to that myself, of getting a lot of validation from being in business, getting a lot of validation about, wow, I really, especially where you were at, you're doing really well. And you get a lot of good feedback from your clients, and you're really proud of your work and you do amazing work. And so there can be some hiding out in business to be able, there's a healthy aspect of that, of like, if it feeds you and it's exciting for you and it's your life's work. And on the other hand, when we hide out in there and not face, out of fear of facing what is outside of work, often it's because we just think that we can't be as successful in our personal life or with our personal health or well-being, that we're going to fail at that or not be as successful as we are where we're in business. So I just wanted to kind of share a lot of where you were at. A lot of women feel that way. And if maybe someone's listening to this, they feel that way. I know I can feel that way at times. I felt that way in the past. So thank you for sharing. Yeah.
So going from where you were, what would you say were the biggest results that you've seen? What's different?
That's such a hard question. Because it feels like it's been a very winding path. Like, I think if we just stick with the 3 things,
Sure.
the 3 reasons. So talking about life, there's been quite a change in it, and I don't know when it happened. And so, like, 100%. Like, I have somehow found space for more life. Like, I started taking Friday afternoons off for pottery. I did that for multiple months, and then winter came and I'll start it again in the spring. I yeah, like I probably took more nature walks than ever. I just feel a lot more fulfilled with the life side of things, but I don't really know why, and I can't put my finger on it. I feel less limited. Like, a big part of the limitation in my life is my dog, and he's a big part of why I would hide out in the business, because he kind of made it feel like there wasn't the possibility to do fun things in life. And we've just been, we've been boarding him a lot more. And I have my own back with that, because like it's important. It's important for us to have adventures, and so yeah, like, I can just say in general, I don't work evenings, I don't work weekends. I take Friday afternoons off. And that was never really the problem before. I always had access to the spaciousness, but I didn't take the spaciousness because I couldn't think of anything else to do. But now it's like I take the spaciousness, and I do manage to find things to do with it, and I feel more satisfied with it. And I can't really put my finger on what changed.
My sense is you are putting your finger on it.
What's that?
You're making choices.
You're making choices and you're getting fulfillment and joy by letting yourself be, like, choosing to use the time, the spaciousness, in a way that supports you, that feeds you, that gives you joy. Like, you're choosing things that give you joy.
Mm-hmm.
For example, getting in nature and going for walks. And you're getting so much creativity and inspiration when you're out there, and that's giving you joy. You've chosen to fly across the country a couple of times,
Mm-hmm.
right? And take care of things at home to make sure that you felt comfortable, that things were handled and taken care of, so that you could travel. And you got back and you knew that everybody survived and, in fact, in some ways thrived, while you were also getting support and thriving in the places that you went to. You also made choices to honor your creativity, to be able to use your hands to make things. And I have noticed and experienced a lot of pride in you, a lot of, like, joy and fulfillment. And so that's my feeling as well, is that you've made the choices and you've kept your word to those choices. And are you bored in that free time?
Sometimes. Sometimes I am.
Yeah. And that gets to be okay.
Yeah. It's but I don't fill it with work.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. And I think what rose in me when you were talking was, I do know what changed. I prioritized it. Like, that's simply it. And there was a lot of kind of strong risings in me throughout the last year. And so, where I reached a point of anger that I didn't have it enough to finally prioritize it. And the retreat was a huge moment too, of like realizing the F and the P, and how I was searching for this, feeling of freedom and joy and play and adventure. And I caught myself hiking in the beautiful mountains among some of the best people I know. And instead of enjoying it, being like, where's my aha? Where's my breakthrough? How do I find it? And that was like a big game-changing moment for me to realize, like, wow, like, just perspective shift. Like, the fun is here. I'm the one ruining it.
Right. It was already happening.
It was, yeah.
And you were in it. You were
I
actually
was,
also in the fun.
yeah, but I was missing it
Yeah,
because I
you were
was
looking for it.
feeling like, no, this should be, there has to be some bigger answer to what's my next step or what's my breakthrough.
Yeah.
And the breakthrough was just to relax.
Right. Chill out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you reflect on this way of being, of having spaciousness, not working evenings, not working weekends, having Fridays spaciousness on Friday afternoons, and also putting a lot of that time towards creative activities and being in nature, what impact has that had in your business, with your clients, with how you are in your business? What difference has it made there to have that
Well,
free space?
so like results in my business have been a real roller coaster over the last year. And a lot of it was how much change I had made at once. And so, it took me a long time. I'm only now seeing certain things like that were off, like with my own offerings and positioning and taking on too much and being too much. And I'm seeing all of these ways that at a smaller level I was not aware of, but then when I started like trying to take off, they were really sapping all of my focus and energy. And so like the business results have really been more simplification, like, which is not what I thought it would be. Like, it's not what I thought I wanted it to be. I thought, oh, like this is it. Like my company is going to grow to this many people and this is going to, but the truth is like, I'm down to one person and I didn't need, one of the entire roles I built, I didn't need. And it was a little soon even to have two of the marketing producers. And so, and none of it was my doing. It was like people just kind of naturally had their own reasons why they needed to go. But then it turned out that it was actually what was right for me and my company. Longtime clients that I had been kind of, completely busting the sides of my lane off for, just to kind of keep serving them because I loved them so much, reached a natural ending point. And so really like over the course of the time together, just many things ended. Things that I had thought were part of the building, the foundation that I was building, just ended and fell away. And it didn't feel good often, because it didn't match the like empire building that I thought I was going to be doing last year.
Yeah.
But what I ended up with is beautiful simplicity. Like my business is so freaking simple right now. It feels uncomfortable how simple it is. I barely need, any new, like I need very few clients. I have my one marketing producer who I'm training to be a strategist, and it's just giving me so much joy. And we've just got this amazing working relationship, and she's got my back and I've got hers. And so I have that beautiful like team environment with just the two of us. My offerings have completely gotten honed down. I've gotten clear on who I serve, who I don't, how I don't. And like, yeah, just like when I look back over the last year at many of the things I tried, I'm like, what was I thinking? I don't even know who that was or where I was going, but I was trying so hard, so many things to get big. And so what the result is, I got small again in a really good way.
Yeah. You got small and that's your big.
Well,
You know,
I
in the
still
sense-
think I'll get big.
Yeah.
But I had to get small to get big. And that's where I feel I am right now. And Krista and I, our motto right now is to let it be boring. That's what I keep saying to her. We're gonna let it be boring. Because I think as a largely as a result of the fact that my business was my fun back, earlier in the earlier start, I was trying to do so many things because they were fun for me. And as a result, I was just wasting so much time and energy and resources on things that weren't necessary for my business to thrive. And now I'm saying, let it be boring. Like it does, I don't need a new offer. I don't need a new system. I don't need to like launch a new podcast or whatever. It's like, I'm not doing anything new. I'm refusing to do anything new right now. And I'm until it feels boring and stable. And then maybe from there I'll grow. And so that's been my biggest business takeaway is I'm pared down to the core right now. And it's a really good core.
You know what I'm seeing in you, may I reflect back in this moment, or was there something else to
No,
you're about
that's
to say? I'm first of all, way to go, you, like really, because what you found is your natural rhythm right now of what your natural rhythm is and your own truth to you. And I'm also seeing that you have made room for more life while not losing your sustainability. In fact, your business is more sustainable now. You've got, like, when you say boring, or it's like more consistent, it's more stable. It's it rather than innovating or building something new and changing and evolving and making it better and trying to improve it. You're in a place of sustainability while you're making more room for your life and the things that bring you joy outside of your business. That when you do those things and have time for those things, it's also positively impacting you in all areas of your life, including your business and how you show up for Krista as a team member, for example. So yeah, really observing that sustainability that you have right now.
Well,
it's definitely, it's so much more sustainable. And like, I have to point out, like, it's really uncomfortable. It's really hard for me to not feel like something's wrong because it's simple and small. Like, and when I say small, I don't mean the revenue. The revenue is like better now that I've pared things back again, and it's in a really good place. But it's small in that it's like, yeah, like it's not like I'm churning out new things all of the time, and I'm not making a splash right now. It's intimate. It's intimate is a good word. It feels like a really intimate, I have an intimate relationship with my clients and my followers and my team. It's just feeling very intimate, and that feels really like that has required me to get out of my own way, like to kind of get my ego out of the way. And my stories about what success should look like, because that's the only way that I've been able to settle into the beauty of what this is.
Thank you. Yeah.
What you're talking about, and a lot of people could probably relate to this, is that I see it as you stepped up to truly be the CEO of your business and take a stand for what you want your business to be and how it will work. And it can be a trap for business owners to to, okay, well, I got to add this and I got to add this and I got to add this. And it's like, if you're really good at something and you can have that intimate relationship that makes worthwhile time, energy, results for you and your client, and that's what you're taking a stand for, all the other things is just diluting, taking away from the core of your business, and adding, like companies that have a product and they add 4 or 5 iterations of the other products, dilutes the opportunity to sell the one product really well.
Yeah.
So until everybody has bought Lisa Haggis in this iteration, why develop a second Lisa Haggis?
Well, you actually are getting a higher return on investment.
You're leveraging everything, every bit of energy you put into your business right now too. So you're making really smart CEO decisions that you've transitioned through this past year. So I'm proud of you, because it's those are hard decisions to make.
Thank you. Yeah, I like the other part of this, like I mentioned how hard it felt at first when I brought on the team. Like I do feel like I've found my version of CEO. And like, yeah, I feel like my leadership of my team has changed a lot. And I was able to truly set into my style of leadership, which took me a while because there were all kinds of new shoulds and fears. And I was really able to navigate those. And the fact that I'm now actually training an associate strategist, I never thought I was going to get there yet. Like that wasn't that wasn't actually part of the plan. It was something I thought would be years later. But now that I'm doing it, I see huge opportunity, and I'm clear that like that's actually my growth. So the agency part of my business I love, but the mentorship part and developing new brand strategists that's the real growth part, I think. And so it's only because it's pared back down that I have the bandwidth for that mentorship. And I can really see the potential of it now.
Yeah, I remember those conversations that we had about when the opportunity came up for this. And I remember the discovery when we were in conversation about this, where developing brand strategy is your genius. And it has been for a very long time. And there are pieces of that process that might have been your genius and lit you up at one point, but didn't anymore. There's a core part of the development of the brand strategy that will likely always be your genius and your superpower. Then there were parts of it, like compiling data and some of these things, that were not lighting you up anymore. They were draining you, or they just weren't your genius anymore because they weren't giving you energy. They were actually draining you. And so getting some anger, some frustration about that, and like churning that up led to, like, that's why I say anger and frustration can be such a positive thing, because it creates movement. And it created an opportunity for you to see that opportunity to be able to bring Krista in and train her. And then all of a sudden the client showed up, the perfect client to be able to share that, to be able to test that with, and have her be the lead strategist. So, you know, I want to say how, and acknowledge you for the development of your genius, and being and embracing this area of mentorship and mentoring people, mentoring team members in your area of genius is actually developing another area of genius for you that's lighting you up. And that relates to the development of your team and your, you know, as one of the areas of focus and priority in the coaching, of developing yourself as a leader and developing you in terms of leading people.
Yeah, and we talked a lot, like a lot of the coaching was really around me letting go of almost like how much I was tying my identity to being a brand strategist. And like, I remember breaking down at the thought of like, it's going to happen again. It's just like the thought of not being the brand strategist.
Right.
And having to like shift my perspective of who I am in my company. And that's the real journey for me to become CEO, is to understand I don't have to be the star, and I get to be when I want to be. And so two things happened. When I first brought my team on, I was giving them all of the marketing for Realize Your Brand. I was having them write social media and stuff because I thought I should be spending my time elsewhere. And I was doing all the client strategy work because it had to be me. And that's swapped now. So I took back my voice, and I'm the voice of the company again, and that feels amazing. And I I had to kind of like allow myself to have an ego to do that, and then I put my ego aside to say I don't have to be the brand strategist, and my clients can have the relationship, or sorry, my team can have the relationship with my clients. And that's been hard to see my clients building a relationship with my team. And I want to step in and be like,
What about me?
I'm here too. What about me?
Don't forget about me. Yeah.
And so, yeah, like it's all about, swapping the different roles and doing the internal work to allow it to reconcile the things inside that would stop me from doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so much gold here. So, as you look back now on this journey, what would you say? And maybe you've already said it. I'm curious about what would you say you were most proud of from compared to like where you were compared to where you are now?
Mm-hmm.
What are you most proud of? Or what rises to the to the top?
I feel like the openness that I have to seeing any truth. I'm not scared of hard truths. I love them. I'm like, I like seeing them. I like being challenged to like completely question myself, reshape myself, rethink what I thought was gonna happen or who I was gonna be. So yeah, I'm really proud of just being open to and embracing any truth, not, and like you've said often, and I feel it, and I appreciate your reflections on it, but like I act on it very quickly.
You do.
I do not, like, I feel like I do not stay in a victim space for very long at all. And I act and I move, and I feel really proud at how much resilience I have when faced with whatever. And I feel like there was a lot of whatever this year. So I kept rolling.
As you were sharing that just now, what came over me is earlier you had mentioned about there was a point where you got out of your own way. And what came to me just now is that it felt like you were the way, like you are the way. You brought yourself closer. You brought yourself in to yourself and became the way. Does that resonate with you? I'm curious.
I think it sounds really beautiful. And
I don't know, that was my experience of what you said.
I think it sounds really beautiful, and and the truth is, yeah, like I didn't get myself out of my own way. I got my conditioning out of my own way. And
Right.
so,
What was
yeah,
holding you
my
back? Your
my
pattern.
true self is the way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great clarification. Yeah. Way to own it. Way to own the truth. As we say, the truth is fastest. It's also the fastest. So as we start to bring this, conversation to the arc, it's like an arc of a conversation we're bringing to a close or to completion. See if anything rises here for you. What practices, or I guess practices is a good word, did you use, did you apply throughout the experience, throughout the year, to create the results, the experiences that you created? What really worked for you?
Yeah, I definitely tried on a lot of things.
You experimented.
Yeah, it was a big year of experimentation of new practices and systems. And one of the really big things, and again, this kind of came with a rush of anger for me, was like, a couple of years ago with your support in coaching, I reached this point where I realized I didn't want to feel like I needed to make big goals and keep changing and shifting, that I have this value of enoughness, that I never want to do something because I feel I have to be good enough. Like I don't want to have a team in order to feel good enough for my clients. I want to do it because I want to. I want to do it from a place of enoughness. And I, throughout the year, I caught myself again in that place of like feeling like I had to get really big and grow and strive and set all these things. And in one of our calls, we came back to the enoughness piece, and I created a custom journaling for every morning that I call my enoughness practice. And I ask myself questions like, what do I have that I already want? And how am I grateful to my past self for the life that she's created? And then I answer from that lens, how would I live this day from enoughness? And I've kept that very consistent. And I find pretty much any time that I feel I'm off, it's because I've left that centering of knowing I don't have to do anything. I don't have to. There's like, I am enough. My business is enough. And from enoughness, I can grow if I want to. And so for me, that's like that practice of remembering the enoughness has been and will always be my business strategy. And then the other, I think, of the practices that I tried on and kind of worked with, I think the practice of just, you call it as ising it. I've really fully embraced that and continue to embrace that. And it's definitely been how I've shifted my leadership with my team. I've just stopped wondering whether it's the right thing to say. And I just say it.
You say it as it is. As is it.
Yeah, I say it all as it is. And again, that's like an evolution of something that I learned years ago with you. But it's I think it will always remain a really core practice for me.
Excuse me.
Is if I feel that stuckness or that fear or whatever, it means that there's something that I need to as is and speak it and say it. And I do that. And that is core to me feeling like I can be in integrity. And it also makes all of my relationships so much better.
my observation, my experience of you is that you've claimed your voice. You've claimed your voice, you're owning your voice, you're claiming your voice, you're speaking your truth and as ising what you see and what you're experiencing as it is. And no one has to guess. There's no need for guessing with you because you just say what's going on, you say what's happening inside of you.
Yeah.
Which is bringing your relationships closer. Yeah. And I would think that's way more freedom and less perfection, right? Way more freedom, less pressure, way more spaciousness and less exhaustion, because you're not trying to get it right. You're just speaking it from your heart, from your body, through your voice. So yeah, your voice
from my heart is a good word. Like the heart is such an important part. And so yeah, they go hand in hand. You can't, I cannot as is without my heart. Otherwise it will not, it doesn't give me the results I want.
Right. Your heart, the way you speak from your heart is, there's a saying that says tough love. It's not really that for you. That's not my experience of you. It's like, you're a straight shooter. You're not necessarily tough. Like, you're loving and you're genuine and you're kind and you're generous, but you also don't pull any punches.
Just honest.
You're honest. And so it's this honest love. It's honest truth. Honest truth. It's like interesting way to say truth, to put the word honest with it. That's the way you are. You speak brave truth from your heart in a generous and kind way. Yeah. So thank you for this. And oh my gosh. So, I'm curious, we've, as we start to complete here, we've been together for a long time. Like you said at the beginning, it's been about 5 years. You have been one of our biggest ambassadors, advocates. And it's reciprocal, of course. We are that for you too. I'm curious if anyone happened to, say, hey, like, what about Nadine and Derek? What would you say to anyone who's considering working with us, or maybe wanting to talk to us about possibilities of working together? What would you say to them?
What would I say to them? I feel like I would say that, like, I believe really strongly in coaching that we need help to see our own wisdom. Like, it's hard to, if you've never been coached, it can be really hard to believe that, because like I used to think I was so self-aware. I thought I knew myself. I would get so offended if somebody even implied that I didn't fully know myself. And that was about 10 selves ago. And so, like, if it's somebody who has never been coached, I want to say that, like, make sure you get the best, you get great coaches, and that Nadine and Derek are like top notch. Like, you're a master coach, one of the very few in Canada. Like, you together bring unique gifts and talents, and you've got this business background, and there's a lot of coaches out there who just don't have those chops. And so, if you're venturing into coaching, you want to make sure that you're in really good hands. I've had various coaches, and there's coaching that's not coaching. There's coaching that's advising. And then there's coaching that helps you really see yourself, but even more importantly, believe in yourself.
Mm.
And that's what that's what I've always got from you, is self-trust, self-belief, the ability to see what I already know, building my skill of seeing new things on my own as well. Like I've built a huge talent for coaching myself as a result of all of the coaching. And so there is a takeaway, like there's a skill that you get to take away from it. And yeah, like you really have always seen the unique things that I bring and helped me use those strengths that are unique to me in the coaching experience. Like I feel like I can do anything I want. Like I can say to you, no, I want to do it this way, and you totally support me. And that practice of like giving me so much sovereignty in the coaching relationship to see what I need, like that is part of the genius. Like that is part of what I got from this. Is like, I have so much sovereignty. I will tell somebody I don't want to do it that way. And I would have never done that before. I would have followed the rules and stayed in line, even if it didn't serve me. And so make sure you've got partners, and that's what you are. You partner with your clients, you make sure they're getting it the way they need it, you give them the sovereignty, you help them see what, like, the truth of who they are, you don't throw your advice on them. You help them rise, and sometimes in ways that I was like, this, where are we going with this? But then we'd get there.
Right.
And so yeah, I say that you're the right ones if you want to be in really good hands.
Mm.
Wow, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Gosh, thank you. Yeah, that's just breathing that in. Yeah, receiving that. Thank you. It has been a true blessing to be able to be in partnership with you in so many beautiful ways that we've been, and that will continue to be throughout our lives, in relationship with each other, in however that twists and turns and evolves throughout time. And as we complete, thank you so much for this conversation. I'm curious if someone, listens to this in the future sometime and they want to reach out to you because they're curious about what you do, and in branding and brand strategy and writing and all these things that you do, how can they reach you?
They can come to realizeyourbrand.com and book a consult with me. And I like to say it's a problem finding expedition. And so, not every problem is a branding problem, but a lot of problems can be brought back to that core that is your brand. And so if you think that maybe, that might be a place that you're struggling, I can help you find the answer to whether it is.
And you absolutely can, because I can to that you are brilliant at it.
Yes.
Yes.
Our brand of Ascend Leadership Co. and everything that we stand for with time leadership and impossible time freedom and everything that we do is because of you, and has been brought out. You have brought out our genius and our superpowers, and what Derek's superpowers are and what mine are, and you've brought them together in a cohesive story. And I am so grateful for everything that you've done that has changed our business, that have changed the lives of so many clients, so many people. The ripple effect, we have no idea how many people have been touched. Hundreds and thousands of people have been touched by the work that you have done for us, how you've helped us. And so I also express gratitude for you and for your gifts and for sharing them with us. Okay, is there anything that you'd like to say to feel complete in this conversation anyway?
Well, what you just said makes me realize that I, because we started here instead of here, like I want to point out that I would not be in business likely anymore if it weren't for the work that I did with you. Like, so we started when I was here, but if we went back, like I was truly in a place of having lost all hope when we first worked together. And so I'll always be grateful. I wouldn't be at any of these chapters without your just knowing you even. And so thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thank you for answering the phone call or picking up the phone when I called, or answering the email, however I reached out to you. All right. Well, thank you so much for this conversation. Do you feel complete for now?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Us too. You?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.